Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Good to see Vijay Govind Prabhu also joining today. Hare Krishna, welcome Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Nanda Kumar Prabhu. And Hari Hari Bol to all the devotees who led the chanting this morning. Pawan Prabhuji, Nanda Kumar Prabhuji, Vijay Govind Prabhuji, and Lakshmi Mohini. Okay, so as always, we'll start with Mangalacharan, followed by our Vaishnava Bhajan, and then reading from Sri Krishna book. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So yesterday we read in Hindi, and this last few weeks we have been reciting the prayers by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur from Gitavali, glorifying Shri Shikshashtakam. Each week we have been doing one verse, one prayer. So right now we are on week 6. So we completed five verses from Shikshashtakam, and this week's verse is verse number 6. Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadaruddhaya gira pulake nichitam vapuhu kada tavanam grahane bhavishyati. And this verse means, O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Hare Krishna. And the prayer from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur glorifying this verse is Shri Shikshashtaka Song 6. So we'll sing this in the melody of Manasa Deho Keho. अपराध फले मम चित्त भेलो वज्र सम तुव नामे लभे विकार हताश होइए हरि तव नाम उच्च कोरी बोड़ो दुखे डाकी बार बार अपराध फले मम चित्त भेलो वज्र सम तुव नामे लभे विकार हताश होइए हरि तव नाम उच्च कोरी बोड़ो दुखे डाकी बार बार दीन दयामय करुणा निधान भाव बिंदु दे राखो प्राण कबे तुव नाम उच्चरण मोर नयनि झर बोदर दर लोर गद गद स्वर कंठे उपजाबो मुखे बोल आध आध बाहिराबो पुलके भरबो शरीर हमारा श्वेद कंप स्तंभ हबे बार बार विवर्ण शरीरे हाराबो ज्ञान नाम समाश्रये धराबो प्राण मेला बोहा मारा किए आइचे दीन रो विभक्ति विनोद मतिहीन हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Hare Hare. Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashay ki jai, Shri Shikshashtakam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody like to read the translation?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I read, please?
Hare Krishna, Ritesh Prabhu. Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. O Lord Hari, as a result of my offenses incurred in previous life, my heart has become hard as a thunderbolt and feels no change upon chanting your holy name. Now, in utter hopelessness, O Lord Hari, I loudly sing your name, and in great distress I call out to you again and again. O Lord, who is compassionate towards the fallen souls, O origin of all mercy, please give to me a drop of divine ecstasy and thereby save my life. When will an incessant stream of tears flow dripping and dripping from my eyes at the articulation of your holy name? When will a flattening voice, choked with emotion, arise in my throat? And when will words garbled due to ecstasy come from my mouth? When will my body be filled with ecstatic rapture? And when will there be perspiration, trembling, and a stunned sensation again and again? When, out of divine ecstasy, will all consciousness be lost in the pale and discolored body? And when will I hold on to my very life under the shelter of your holy name? This weeping Bhakti Vinoda, who is devoid of all good intelligence, sobs. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, that screen has disappeared. Now I have the Chaitanya Charitamrita compact in front of me.
Oh, sorry, yes. Thank you, Prabhu. I was going to share that, this prayer that we have been singing, these prayers from Shikshashtakam, how this, let me make it a little more bigger so it's easy to see. But yeah, anything you want to share, Nitesh Prabhu, from what you read from the...
Prabhuji, when Bhakti Vinoda ji was singing and like giving all these things, like how desperate he was that he wants to get to the real ecstatic world of being with the Lord, where his Hari name and all that, he wants to feel it from the deep in the heart in such a way which is very, very, very deep, that even when we think about it, it gives us the, like, he wants to cry in the name of the Hari, he wants to see and all that. Even we also as of today have that kind of feeling, being the devotee of the devotee of the devotee of the devotee. So this was very, very pure, coming out from the heart of Bhakti Vinoda, that he wants to feel so deeply that, and at the same time he was repenting as if these things are not happening to him as of right now, which is also has a very deep meaning. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I mean,
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Nitesh Prabhu. Yes, so as we go, this is like now tears have started flowing from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's eyes. So Shikshashtakam, as we know, as we've broken it down in the previous before as well, that Shiksha is instruction and Ashtakam is 8. So these are 8 instructions. And this I wanted to share this table, that how Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur expands on this idea, that detailing the progress of the 9 stages that we have. So as we go from initial faith, from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha, which is association of devotees, to Bhajana Kriya, which is committed practice of devotion service, to Anartha Nivritti, cleansing of the heart, and then comes Nishtha, firm conviction. Right? We started with some initial conviction, initial faith, but it becomes firm here at the process of Nishtha when we are kind of almost close to or have done with Anartha Nivritti, cleansing of the heart. And then comes Ruchi, higher taste, Asakti, attachment, Bhava, and then Prema. So these are the 9 stages of progress in devotion service. And these 8 verses teach us how each one of these helps us move from Shraddha. So the first verse where Mahaprabhu talks about Cheta Darpana Marjanam, when we start chanting the holy name, then our heart starts getting cleansed. But we have to start with Shraddha, we have to start with initial faith. And then The next verse was Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti, that the Lord says that your name has all the potencies, right? But I am so unfortunate that I have no taste. So we get through Sadhu Sangha, we get the process to chant the holy names, and then our Anarthanipati continues, when we chant the holy names sincerely with faith. And then this is the mood of humility and how we should continue to chant. Right? So and then we came to Nishtha and Ruchi, and that is the verse number 4, and Nadhanam Najanam Nasundarim. And then finally, last week we came to verse number 5, which was Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Paritam, that I am a fallen soul, I am an eternal servant of yours. Please pick me up and put me back at your lotus feet. So that is like our attachment to the Lord, Asakti, that my attachment should be only to the lotus feet of the Lord. And now this week we have come to verse number 6, and now here you see this is the bhava, so the stage of bhava, where it is like the heart's calling, heart's longing to intense desire to be with the Lord. Right? So this is the ecstasy, and once the ecstasy starts, then tears start coming out from the eyes, and that is what is happening with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So the experience of good fortune by coming in contact with the Lord. So this is the stage of bhava. And then the last two again will be bhava, and finally, ultimately, will come to prema, which is the pure love of Godhead, which is the highest perfection and ultimate goal. So we see how, again, even though these are just 8 verses that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us, but we see how we progress in bhakti just by reciting these prayers. So we have with sincere determination, with firm faith, if we sincerely follow these prayers and just reciting these prayers, as Prabhupada says again and again, just by reading, just by associating with acharyas through their vani, we get purified. We just need to have that firm faith that yes, by following this process, we will progress. Okay, thank you so much once again, Ritesh Prabhu, for reading that translation. So we'll continue. Anybody would like to read? We are continuing on chapter 2 of Krishna book. So yesterday we read in Hindi, so we'll continue in English. But we are reading chapter 2, where the demigods are praying to Lord Krishna, who is in the womb of Mother Devaki, with the choicest prayers that, Lord, you come to, like Prabhuji was saying on Saturday in the class, the Lord comes to protect his devotees, to give shelter to his devotees, and to annihilate the demons, which is like kind of the secondary reason, but the primary reason is always to give pleasure to his devotees. So the demigods are praying to Krishna that they're praying that he may now come, because they have been burdened by the tortures and problems created by Kamsa. Also, Krishna is coming to give pleasure to his devotees like Vasudev Maharaj, like Devaki Maya, and of course once he will go to Vrindavan. So let's continue from here. Oh dear Lord, anybody would like to read? I did not see any hands up. Like I said, if
Hare
you have...
Krishna Prabhuji. Can I read again?
Yes, Ritesh. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. O dear Lord, the demigods continued. You are unborn, therefore we do not find any reason for your appearance other than your pleasurable pastimes. Although the reason for the appearance of the Lord is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the descent just to give protection to the devotees and vanquish the non-devotees. Actually, he descends for his pleasure meeting with his devotees, not really to vanquish the non-devotees. The non-devotees can be vanquished simply by one kick of material nature. The actions and reactions of material nature, creation, maintenance, annihilation, are being carried out automatically. But simply by taking shelter of your holy name, the devotees are fully protected, because your holy name and your personality are non different. The protection of the devotees and the annihilation of the non devotees are actually not the business of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he descends, it is just for his transcendental pleasures. There cannot be any other reason for his appearance. Our, our dear Lord, you are appearing for the best of the Yadu dynasty, and we are offering our respectful, humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. Before this appearance, you also appeared as the fish incarnation, as the horse incarnation, as the tortoise incarnation, as the half man, half lion incarnation, as the boar incarnation, as the swan incarnation, as King Ramachandra, as Parshuram, and many other incarnations. You appear just to protect the devotees, and we request you in your present appearance as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself to give us similar protection all over the three worlds and remove all obstacles for the peaceful execution of our lives. Dear Mother Devki, dear Mother Devki, when your womb is the Supreme Personality of Godhead appearing along with all his planetary extensions. He is the original personality of Godhead, appearing for our welfare. Therefore, you should not be afraid of your brother, the king of Bhoj. Your son, Lord Krishna, who is the original personality of Godhead, will appear for the protection of the pious Yadu dynasty. The Lord is appearing not alone, but accompanied by his immediate planetary portion, Baldev. Devki was very much afraid of her brother Kansa because he had already killed so many of her children, so she was very anxious about Krishna. In the Vishnu Puran, it is stated that in order to pacify Devaki, all the demigods, along with their wives, used to visit her to encourage her not to be afraid that her son would be killed by Kansa. Krishna, who was within her womb, was to appear not only to diminish the burden of the world, but specifically to protect the interests of the Yadu dynasty, and certainly to protect Devaki and Vasudev. It is understood that Krishna has been transferred from the mind of Vasudev to the mind of Devaki, and from there to her womb. Thus, all demigods worship Devaki, the mother of Krishna. After thus worshipping the transcendental form of the Lord, all the demigods, with Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, placed in front, departed for their heavenly abodes. Hare Krishna. This ends the Bhakti Vinod purport of the second chapter of Krishna. Prayers by the demigods for Lord Krishna in the womb. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, you can continue chapter 3, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. The birth of Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavatam Gita, the Lord says that his appearance, birth, and activities are all transcendent, and that one who understands them factually becomes immediately eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world. The Lord's appearance or birth is not that of an ordinary man, who is forced to accept a material body according to his past deeds. The Lord's appearance is explained in the second chapter. He appears out of his own sweet pleasures. With time and uh, with the time was mature for the appearance of Lord, the constellations becomes very auspicious. The astrological figure of the star known as Rohini was predominant. The star is considered to be very auspicious and is under the direct supervision of Brahma. According to the astrological conclusions, besides the proper situation of the stars, there are auspicious and inauspicious moments due to different situations in the different planetary systems. At the time of Krishna's birth, the planetary systems were automatically adjusted so that everything becomes auspicious. Hare Krishna. At that time, in all directions, east, west, south, north, everywhere, there was an atmosphere of peace and prosperity. There were auspicious stars visible in the sky and on the surface of the earth, in all towns and villages and pasturing grounds and within the minds of everyone. There were signs of good fortune. The rivers were flowing full of water. Lakes were beautifully decorated with lotus flowers. The flowers were full with beautiful birds and peacocks. All the birds within the forest began to sing with sweet voices, and the peacocks began to dance along with their consorts. The wind blew very pleasantly, carrying the aroma of different flowers, and the sensation of bodily touch was very pleasing. At home, the Brahmins, who were accustomed to offering sacrifices in the fire, found their homes very pleasant for offering. Due to disturbances created by the demonic king, the sacrificial fire has been almost stopped in the houses of Brahmins. Now they could find the opportunity to start the fire peacefully. Being forbidden to offer sacrifices, the Brahmins had been very much distressed in mind, intelligence, and activities. But just as the point of Krishna's appearance, automatically their mind becomes full of joy. because they could hear transcendental vibrations in the sky, proclaiming the appearance of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The denizens of Gandharva and Kinar planets began to sing, and the denizens of Siddhaloka and the planets of Karanas began to offer prayers in the service of the personality of Godhead. In the heavenly planets, the angels and their wives, along with the Vidyadharas and their wives, began to dance. The great sages and the demigods, being pleased, began to shower flowers. At the seashore, there was the sound of mild waves, and above the sea, there were clouds in the sky which began to thunder very pleasantly. When things were adjusted like this, Lord Vishnu, who is residing within the heart of every living entity, appeared in the darkness of night as the Supreme Personality of Godhead before Devaki, who appeared in one of the demigoddess. The appearance of Lord Vishnu at the time could be compared to the rising of the full moon over the eastern horizon. The objection may be raised that since Lord Krishna appeared on the eighth day of the waning moon, there could be no rising to the full moon. In answer to this, it may be said that Lord Krishna appeared in the dynasty which is the hierarchy of the moon. Therefore, although the moon was incomplete at that time because of the Lord appearance in the dynasty, wherein the moon is himself the original person, the moon was in an overjoyous condition. By the grace of Krishna, he could appear just like a full moon. In an astronomical treatise by the name Kamanikeya, the constellations at the time of appearance of Lord Krishna are very nicely described. It is confirmed that the child born at that auspicious moment was the supreme Brahman or the absolute truth. Vasudev saw the wonderful child, born as a baby with four heads, holding conch shell, club, disc, and lotus flower, appeared with the mark of Srivatsa, wearing the jeweled necklace of Kaustubha, dressed in the yellow silk, appearing dazzling like a bright blackish cloud, wearing a helmet bedecked with the Vedarish stone, valuable bracelets, earrings, and similar other ornaments all over his body, and beautified by an abundance of hair on his head. Due to the extraordinary features of the child, Vasudeva was struck with wonder. How could a newly born child be so decorated? He could therefore understand that Lord Krishna had now appeared, and, and he became overpowered by the occasion. Vasudeva very humbly wondered that although he was an ordinary living entity, conditioned by natural nature, and extremely imprisoned by Kansa, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, who had appeared as a child in his home, exactly is his original position. No earthly child is born with four hands, decorated with ornaments and nice clothing, fully equipped with all the signs of supreme personality of Godhead. Over and over again, Vasudev glanced at his child and is considered how to celebrate the auspicious moment. Generally, when a male child is born, he thought people observe the occasion with jubilant celebration. And in my home, although I am imprisoned, the supreme personality of God has taken birth. How many millions and millions of times should I be prepared to observe this auspicious ceremony? When Vasudev, who is called Ankadundubi, was looking at the newborn baby, he was so happy that he wanted to give many thousands of cows in charities to the Brahmins. According to the Vedic system, whenever there is an auspicious ceremony in the Kshatriya king's palace, out of joy the king gives many things in charities. Cows decorated with golden ornaments are delivered to the Brahmins and sages. Vasudeva wanted to perform the charitable ceremony to celebrate Krishna's appearance. But because he was shackled within the walls of Kansa's prison, this was not possible. Therefore, within his mind, he gave thousands of cows to the Brahmins. When Vasudeva was convinced that the new child was the supreme personality of Godhead himself, he bowed down with folded hands and began to offer him prayers. At that time, Vasudeva was in the transcendental position, and he became completely free from all fears of Kansa. The newborn baby was also flashing his effulgence within the room on which he appeared. Vasudev then began to offer his prayers. My dear Lord, I can understand who you are. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the super soul of all living entities, and the absolute truth. You have appeared in your own eternal form, which is directly perceived by us. I understand that because I am afraid of Kansa, you have appeared just to deliver me from that fear. You do not belong to this material world. You are the same person who brings about the cosmic manifestations simply by glancing over material nature. One may argue that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who creates the whole cosmic manifestation simply by his glance, cannot come within the womb of Devki, the wife of Vasudeva. To eradicate this argument, Vasudeva said, my dear Lord, it is not a very wonderful thing that you have appeared within the womb of Devki, because the creation was also made in that way. You are lying in the causal ocean of Mahavishnu, and by your breathing process, innumerable universes come into existence. Then you entered into each of the universe by Garbhodoka Sai, Vishnu says. Then again you expanded yourself by Kshatridoka Sai, Vishnu, and entered the hearts of all living entities, and even into the atoms. Therefore, your entrance into the womb of Devki is understandable in the same way. You appear to have entered, but you are simultaneously all pervading. You can understand the entrance of non entrance from material examples. The total material energy remains intact even after being divided into 16 elements. The material body is nothing but the combination of five gross elements, namely earth, water, fire, earth, and ether. Whenever there is a material world, it appears that such elements are newly created, but actually the elements are always existing outside the body. Similarly, you have appeared as a child in the womb of Devki. You are also existing outside. You are always in your abode, but still you can simultaneously expand yourself into millions of forms.
We pause here.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes. Okay, anything you want to share from the reading today?
Prabhuji, the very existence of God, as explained in the last phase by, I mean, first of all, it was such a wonderful feeling when you see that Krishna is appearing in all his transcendental form with such a angelic things, four legs, beautifully decorated, which when we see after reading all that from our own eyes, is really, really such a blissful event. And before that, all the events that were happening were also so blissful that the whole world was in harmony. It was all the most pleasurable things, from the simple things, from the singing of the birds, dancing of the peacocks, from the waves of the oceans, which we can feel when we have Krishna in our heart. But in the last chapter, when everybody was arguing or someone argued, and Vasudev clearly, when he saw the great transcendental form of Krishna, explain how come the Krishna be everywhere, and how can one be divided into 16 and still it can be still the same soul, the supreme soul. So in the last chapter, when we keep reading about it, it takes me my mind into the same thing, that how many times we read this and still the same thing exists, and same we can feel Krishna within ourselves, but when uh, in the deities, in our all the gurus, we can feel Krishna. And in the same way, that's from the modern society. But this one, the basics have been explained, that every material body has got nothing to do with this, but they are all made from the five elements, which we have read since childhood, and still from soul to soul, how the energies, the soul is never destroyed, it's just transferred from one form to the other form. And all this we keep reading about it, and more understanding we get from it. So Prabhuji, thank you for giving me the opportunity to read all that stuff, and I will again read it. So Hare Krishna to every devotees, and thank you for being a part of that. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Ritesh Prabhu. Yeah, Krishna appears, as like today, Krishna is appearing as appearance day of the Lord. So similarly, Krishna, like I said, it's Prabhupada saying here, Krishna is seated in every one of our heart as Paramatma, as the three forms of Vishnu, right? The technical differences that Prabhupada shared was as Mahavishnu, his Karanodakshaya Vishnu is lying in the causal ocean, from whose body all the universes are coming, and then he enters into each universe as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, where Garbho, like Garbha means in the womb, right? So he was like in the womb of Mother Devaki, like that. He is there in the womb of each and every universe as Garbho, Garbhodaka, Shai, and then Shai means who's lying down, sleeping. So Garbhodak Shai Vishnu. And then ultimately the last one is Kshirodak Shai Vishnu, who is lying, who is taking rest in the ocean of milk. Kshirodak Shai means in the ocean of milk. He is also lying down, but he is the Paramatma feature from whom all the incarnations come. And when the Lord comes, Krishna comes in his original form, then all these incarnations, as Prabhupada explained in the last chapter, they all come back with Krishna. They all enter into Krishna's form. So that's how all the different avatars, they're all part of Krishna. But yeah, and then connecting this back to the prayer that we were reading, yes, when the Lord appears, then everything is so blissful, everything is wonderful, right? And but devotees, they as they start to get the association of the Lord, then of course they get into the ecstasy, ecstatic love of Lord, and that's where the bhava stage comes, right? And that's what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was teaching from the prayer, that Nayanam Galadashrudharaya Vadanam Gadgadaruddhaya Gira Pulake Nishitam Apokada Tavanam Grahani Bhavishyati. So just by the holy name, chanting of the holy name, vibrating the holy name through the tongue and hearing the holy name, the syllables, each syllable of the Mahamantra carefully, by this simple process of chanting and hearing attentively, we can develop our stage of bhava. And that when we develop that stage of bhava, then literally the Lord, who's already there in everybody's heart as Paramatma, he starts revealing himself. So that is what the Acharyas teach us. So maybe all someday, by their mercy, I'm able to achieve that stage. But yeah, the Lord is always there with us as all of our friends as Paramatma. He is always there to guide us if we take his direction. He's always there to be with us if we sincerely want him to be with us, right? So he's there. He's just waiting for us to turn towards him and call out to him by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, yesterday as we were saying, everything is there in the holy name. All the power the Lord has bestowed in the holy name. So anybody remembers what we said yesterday? Mukh mein naam. And what else should we do? Mukh mein naam. Haathon se kaam. Then man mein sham. So what will be the final destination? Pahunch jayenge dham. So Mukh mein naam, we have to keep the name, holy name in our mouth and hear through our ears. Mukh mein naam. Haathon se hame karna hai apna kaam. Jo bhi whatever we are doing throughout our day, we can do. And always remember the Lord while we can chant. When we are not speaking, we can chant the holy names. So we chant in the morning like this. We do Upanshu. This is called Upanshu, where we are chanting softly and hearing the syllables of the Mahamantra through our ears. That is Upanshu, soft chanting and hearing. And then when we are doing our work throughout the day, we can do Manasik. Manasik is where you are doing your work, but internally you are still chanting as and when possible. It's not like if you are able to do it continuously, that is the best. But even if you are able to remember the Lord, that's why we are trying to do this activity of remembering the Lord. You are able to see the sun, the moon, we are seeing, hearing anything outside in the nature. When we see that, we are remembering the Lord, but also chant the Mahamantra, right? That is most important. So that way we are always associating with the Lord. So that is called Manasik. If we are in the middle of like a meeting, or of course we can't speak, but at least in our mind we can recite the Mahamantra. So yeah, so that is Mukh mein naam, Haathon se kaam, and keep the Lord in your heart. Man mein sham. So then the end goal will be, we will pahunch jayenge dham, we will reach the Lord's abode. So that should be our mantra after the Mahamantra. Okay, any other thoughts, reflections, comments? Anybody continuing to remember the Lord as Jivanam Sarvabhuteshu, as the life of all living entities. Any reflections on that? No? Nobody wants to share anything today?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, there was so much of things to learn today itself that, I mean, the mind is, but thank you so much. Now, since you have mentioned that, can you again um, give the translation of the last shloka that you have shown, please, Prabhuji?
The prayer that we sang today? Or this one you're talking about? You're talking about the...
Yeah, no, the last shloka that Jivanam Sarveshwar, the
This one that we read? This one you're talking about, or you're talking about the... What I... Oh, the one that I said about Mukh Mein Naam. Mukh Mein
yeah,
Naam.
Prabhuji. I mean,
Okay,
it
okay.
seems like, yeah, मुख में नाम मन में श्याम पहुंच जाएंगे धाम.
हाथों से काम, right?
हाथों से काम. Yes, yes, I was missing that.
पहुंच जाएंगे धाम. Yes.
I,
Actually, dham comes right there when we chant the holy name, and when the Lord, like I said, Lord is already there. So where the Lord is there, that is the dham, right? So Lord is there in our hearts. The dham is already here. It's just that through this process of chanting, we purify our consciousness and we cleanse our consciousness so that the curtain of Maya that is there in front, the Lord opens that curtain and then He starts revealing, right? So He is already there. The Dham is already there. It just needs to be revealed to us. And the process to get that revealed is by cleansing our consciousness, by chanting the holy names of the Lord. And in this age, Mahaprabhu has given us the simple and the most sublime Mahamantra to cleanse our consciousness by chanting the Mahamantra. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Okay,
Hare Krishna,
anything else?
Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to share anything before we conclude? Okay, all right, then we'll pause here if no other comments, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you all for your wonderful association, and hope you continue to remember the Lord through the different things that we have been trying to remember Him over the past 7 weeks, and chant the Mahamantra. The more we chant, the more we purify our consciousness, and the more you chant, the more attentively you should chant. Just try to absorb, like soak your heart in the holy name, and that should be our mood with it, what we chant. Even one Mahamantra like that has the potency to rapidly purify our consciousness. So may that be the goal for all of us, including myself. Okay, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrind ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.